Okay, we got Bungie is using stolen assets in Marathon from upper echelon. Okay, what's going on with Bungie?
All right. Normally, I try to be very careful with definitive statements. I would
Mm-hmm.
avoid saying things like X company is committing fraud or Y company has committed plagiarism, stuff like that. Because the danger when using that kind of concrete language is that you end up being wrong and things then get a little bit messy.
Yeah, you get sued and shit.
Instead, I typically go for suggestively open word choices. It
Mm-hmm.
appears to be, it seems to be, or there are strong indications of. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Especially when dealing with large companies, brands that do commit fraud, or characters who engage disreputable lawyers to silence all of their critics, which I've directly contended with before, unfortunately. Using that kind of language becomes a lot more important. But today's video is an exception to that rule because I'm not just going to be using suggestive terms for this one.
Oh
Far from
shit.
it, in fact, because Bungie is using stolen assets in their new AAA Project Marathon, with the
Oh shit. How are they stealing them?
only real question being who's responsible for that and what are they going to do about it. Let me start with a little bit of background here because this is far from the first time that Bungie has dealt with the topic of plagiarism. In 2023, the company was accused of lifting an artist's independent work directly into a cutscene. In
Oh wow.
2024, they were accused of stealing a weapon design.
Oh yeah, Jesus. So what? This is the marathon thing? Or wait, what's the marathon one? Either way, it don't matter. These are like very similar.
In 2024, they were accused of stealing a
Yeah, these are so similar. Are you kidding me?
weapon design. And late last year, an entire
Nerf mine. Oh yeah. So wait, Nerf stole this dude's weapon design? Bro, this is like a 1-to-1 almost. This little piece, that the line. Oh wow. It's got the dings in the same spot. Cracks, some filigree. Yep. The little spade right there. The safety trigger, or not the trigger, that like I forgot what this thing is called, like the kick or something. Upside down spade, the bottom, the butt of the gun. Yep.
lawsuit collided with the studio, alleging that they stole entire sections of lore and storyline narratives, particularly the Red War and Curse of Osiris plotlines, from
Mm-hmm.
an individual blog writer. Setting aside my personal opinions about those previous examples, it's pretty clear that the company is no stranger to the topic of asset theft. However, none of it even comes close to what we're talking about today, because this time it's not similar or inspired by defensively. This time it's practically the entire art style of their new AAA product called Marathon, which has been directly lifted, copied, and pasted into their game.
I mean, shit. It seems like it's a lousy copy paste because if you look at like the general consensus of like what everyone thinks about it, this thing is going to be another massive flop, another grave dancing video game to come in hot, only to be rinsed off in seething cold.
Meet Anti-Real. Anti-Real is a visual artist, primarily a graphic designer, it seems, who has a substantial body of work going back many years, some of which is oddly reminiscent of what we now see in Marathon. By itself, no big deal. Visual styles are very often similar to each other across all sorts of different work. But I want everyone to remember who this person is, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Anti-Real. I'll come back to them. Next, we
Anti-real.
need to introduce two more characters, and while I certainly can't say for sure if these are the two people primarily responsible for this problem, I think it's fair to know who they are, considering the full scope of what's going on. Thomas Kerpa and Paul Martinson.
Okay.
Starting with Thomas Kerpa, this is the chief creative officer and co founder of a design studio and branding development company called Kerpa Hosk. Paul Martinson is the creative director of Kerpa Hosk, and if you start digging into the designers that work for this company, including Paul Martinson, you start to find references and fragments linking them back to Bungie. As you
Oh.
begin poking around here and there, a picture starts forming. Kerpa Hosk has worked with a number of high profile clients, but it's also a subsidiary of a consultancy collective called Hydra. If you start looking at the creative styles of their designers, such as their co-founder, or generally investigating their work across the board, there are distinct visual similarities of what appears to be in Bungie's new game Marathon. But eventually we find out that Bungie's own franchise art director for Marathon openly stated a little over a week ago that they've been working with Kirpa Hosk since the very beginning. So far, so good.
Okay.
Bungie hires a branding company. That company produces the artwork for Marathon, which has visual similarity to a number of different artists, including their own co-founder. But where's the actual problem? Because so far there isn't one. This is the problem.
Yeah.
Anti-Real, the previously mentioned artist with a very similar art style as well compared to Marathon, on May 15th of 2025, posted on social media, quote, "The Marathon Alpha released recently and its environments are covered with assets lifted from poster designs I made in 2017." End quote. By itself, that might be nothing, but Anti-Real included a variety of comparisons.
Wait. Aleph? Oh, wow. With like a line. Dark Space. Haulage Logistics. Oh, wow, yeah. Bro, they literally just copy paste that shit.
Which make it extremely clear that not only are the designs similar, they're flat out copied and pasted into Marathon.
Bro, I don't ever want to hear any game developer say some dumb shit like, "Oh, we had to raise the cost of the video game because development is getting tougher and tougher." Meanwhile, Bungie's over here like, "Hold my beer. I can solve this." Control C, Control V. Wham. Developing cost reduced by like 99%.
Here's an example. The Aleph Dark Space Haulage Logistics graphic, which appears pixel for pixel all over the game assets. Or how about this, where you can see portions of Anti-Real's work flipped horizontally and pasted in.
You got some like, okay, so this is his. You got the double arrow. I mean, it's a double arrow, dude. But I don't think the double arrow is as strong, even though it's like literally just like rotated. You got the double arrow there, double arrow. Like, what is this? It's supposed to be like this, like squiggly. What is this like? I don't know. I don't know much about. I don't think like what is this? Like I don't see it like on here anywhere. But maybe it's like further down. Oh wait, no, this is down. Oh my god, wait a sec. I see it. It is copy pasted. So you got these lines and scribbles versus these lines and scribbles. Yeah, that shit is literally copy pasted. Wait, okay, so I got the three. Yeah, like look at this. It's like a solid 3 lines and then the zigzags. Solid 3 lines and then this is like kind of blurry, but it's still zigzags. Wow. Like I could see a case where so we have 2 points of what do you call it? Two like points where it's like okay, they literally just copy pasted it. Would they as well copy the double arrow? I mean, it's a double arrow, and understandably, it's like rotated and shit everywhere. So it's like, yeah. But I think if he started with the double arrow, it's like no shot. It's a double arrow. Whoop de fuck. But since he started with like the other examples being a little more obvious and more blatant, the double, even though it's just like a double arrow, it's like, okay, yeah, most likely. But like, it's just a fucking double arrow though. Like Bungie was so strapped up for time, they couldn't just make their own like designs. This is egregious.
where they didn't even bother to fully remove text that reads anti-real daily series.
What? Wait, it's like dots, but like I can kind of see a D right there. D. Yeah, like they tried to like remove it or whoever, but it's like it's still kind of there.
Right on it. And if that's not enough, how about the fact
Yeah.
that Anti-Real's own logo is visible in numerous different locations throughout?
Bop, bop, or bop, bop. Auto image traced in Illustrator. Yeah, there's no shot you can. Yeah, you can't come off of this, dude. That's like in the game. What? They decided to like just color it in right there? Bro, if Nintendo can sue Pow World for the Pokeball bullshit and riding on pals and make him change it, this bro can easily sue Bungie for literally copy pasting his stuff. 100%, dude.
The game, because the artwork of Marathon was cut, copied, and literally pasted into their product.
This is the laziest shit I've ever seen from a AAA dev. Well, no, I've seen some pretty lazy shit. Not gonna name names, Blizzard, and you guys having to load everybody else's inventory, in your own lobby whenever you go into an online game in D4.
Product. Graphics on the Marathon website, graphics from their video trailers, graphics from pretty much the entire project, which can be found directly in the game files, are one-to-one copied and pasted from Anti-Real's work, and it gets even better. This part needs a little bit of deep internet history, if you will, for it to make sense, but get this. In 2024, Anti-Real on Twitter posted, quote, "I hid loss in my designs 6 years ago and nobody caught on," end quote.
I hid loss. I don't know what loss is.
Which might sound like gibberish to an average person, but let me explain. Loss is actually a 4chan meme about abortion, but the comic it's based on is very often depicted as minimalist lines, like this.
Oh, I think I've seen that one.
Basically, this line pattern right here refers to a comic from 2008, but lo and behold, on the Marathon subreddit,
Yeah, because it's like supposed to be like this comic right here or something.
22 days ago, before the topic of plagiarism started blowing up on social media, a thread with 1,400 upvotes appears, showcasing the loss line pattern clearly displayed in the game world of Marathon. People were actually
Clearly in Marathon. Oh my god, Marathon. You guys are not coming back from this one. You guys need to mulligan this shit. And what's even funny is this would probably have not have been in like the top 20 things that were going to be wrong in this game. Like them just simply copy pasting this shit.
actually praising this game for that kind of deep internet meme reference, saying things like, quote, "Holy shit, this game is 10 out of 10. But come to find out, the only reason that meme reference is even there is because someone cut, copied, and pasted an actual artist's work across the entire Marathon project, which just so happened to include this meme, which they secretly stored in their work 7 years ago, and no one noticed. Still not done. There's many more examples of directly
But wait, there's more.
copied graphics. At this point, it's pervasive across a lot of the game, but I want to shift gears and go back to Joseph Cross, the franchise art director for Marathon. Yeah, Joseph Cross personally follows Anti-Real's account.
Oh my god.
The franchise art director for a AAA game personally follows the account of an independent artist who had massive portions of their work straight up stolen and used throughout his game.
Yeah, I don't want to hear anything from any game developer ever about rising development costs. It's getting harder to develop a game. Hell no, dude. These guys try to gaslight the shit out of you to try to justify $80 game, $90 game. Hell no.
Optically, that's like one of the worst possible things that you could ever have happen. It's actually not even just the art director. A lot of Bungie people, employees, artists, etc., follow Anti-Real, but focusing on the more concrete aspects of the problem, this is a major roadblock for Marathon as a product. We're not just talking about 1 or 2 or 5 graphics here and there, which are similar or slightly tweaked and changed, but kind of.
Yeah, all these little. Okay, so the little doodads, the little graphics, like. So it's kind of obvious that like he had like a batch of like little symbols and icons, but like I think like how are you gonna have like I don't know like a patent or whatever on like a target or like a dot in a circle? Like this is what was that thing that like we're trying to not do in video games? Like we're trying not to sue each other over the like thing like patent pending concepts or whatever. Like what was it? The Lord of the Rings game that had has a patent on the Nemesis system, so now no other game can do a Nemesis system. Nintendo suing Power World over the stupid Pokeball thing. Also suing them because or making them change you can no longer ride your PAL around the map or whatever. If that's the case, you might as well sue every other video game where you can like ride on top of like a dragon or something. Are you kidding me? Big Nintendo, you gonna sue Doom the Dark Ages because there's like a laser dragon you can hop on? Go get on over there and sue go sue Doom Dark Ages, Nintendo. Go on.
The same. Remember, in the past, Bungie used similar graphical material often, but it wasn't the exact same, and subsequently, they never really faced any serious problems. That's just not true this time around. Someone somewhere, whether it be at Kerpa Hosk or Bungie, we don't really know at this point, copied and pasted so much of the game's artistic material without a single design change whatsoever. It is now an actual problem for Bungie. This isn't the type of thing you ignore and walk away from. It's the type of thing that
Well, you can't really ignore it. You gotta change it. 100%, you gotta change it.
damages a brand. And Marathon wasn't exactly doing well to begin with here. Sure, it's most likely the design company that they hired, in my opinion, but even then, it has reputational ramifications for Bungie as well, which at this point is probably unavoidable. Adding this in after the fact because it was posted while working on the video script and the editing, etc., the Marathon dev team Twitter account has posted a response to all of this publicly, which says the following, quote, "We immediately investigated a concern regarding unauthorized use of artist decals in Marathon and confirmed that a former Bungie artist included these in a texture sheet that was ultimately used in-game. This issue was unknown by our existing art team, and we are still reviewing how this oversight occurred. We take matters like..."
Yeah, somebody just did it. That's how. Nobody cares about how it happened. I'll tell you how it happened. Somebody just was like, oh, there's a bunch of shit. Copy paste. Nobody is trying to like backlog and make sure like, okay, now I gotta cross-reference these images to this random guy, part of the internet, make sure they're not his. I gotta check over there and check over there. It's like, oh, he's got like a circle and a dot. Oh, we can't use the circle dot one. Oh man, we can't use the circle dot circle one. It's like, no one's doing that. It was just like, there's a batch of images. Okay, copy paste, bang. That's how it happened.
this very seriously, we have reached out to Anti-Real to discuss this issue and are committed to doing right by the artist. As a matter of policy, we do not...
Oh, if I was Anti-Real, I'd be asking for a lot of money. You want to use my art? I'm going to charge you an arm and a leg and another arm and some eyeballs and yep.
Not use the work of artists without their permission. To prevent similar issues in the future, we are conducting a thorough review of our in-game assets.
And this is how you do it. the amount of time and effort. So you give him the amount of money it would take to delete and remove all of his images, all of the developmental costs that are rising that the developers use, increasing developmental costs. All right. It takes time and effort. There's that factor in there. And then you got to transfer all of the images from the one program into the other one and place them just so. Okay. And that's how you arrive at the number. Say, oh, I will save you the trouble. Don't remove anything. But you're going to pay me all of the rising developmental costs that you guys have. And I'll just let you keep the images. Just pay me my money. That's it. Leave it at that.
Specifically those done by the former Bungie artist, and implementing stricter checks to document all artist contributions.
Stricter checks.
We value the creativity and dedication of all artists who contribute to our games, and we are committed to doing right by them. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. End quote.
Okay, hopefully you pay him. Big old Bungie. I know you're not tight up for money. You're Bungie. Bungie is AAA. You got all those sitting on that big old mountain of Destiny dollars. All right, I could boot up Steam. Okay, I'm not stupid. I could boot up Steam right now and look up Destiny and all the microtransactions in Destiny 1 and 2. All right, Bungie. I know you're not strapped for cash.
So that makes it sound like an innocent mistake that someone got maybe fired for, I guess.
It does. It sounds like an innocent mistake. Oopsie.
Yes, but the explanation that this only occurred because someone included the graphics in a texture pack doesn't make any sense whatsoever to me. Remember, these graphics appear all over the game, even showing up on the website homepage for Marathon, which is an animated graphic. Oh. If this was simply a texture pack that was added to by one rogue employee, there wouldn't be this many different examples. Again, so much of their artwork was stolen, even random meme references are showing up in the game, which were hidden by the artist 7 years ago.
Yeah.
This isn't some simple oversight where a couple of graphics...
But, to be fair, you gotta be on both sides of the coin. How are you gonna patent a circle? How are you gonna patent a 4 circle in the shape of a square? How are you gonna... Well, not patent, but like... How are you going to put like a design thing, like that's my design, on some zigzags, some little dots? I understand this is like a touchy subject, okay? But it's a circle. What are we talking about? It's a square inside of a circle.
Graphics appeared in a couple of places that they shouldn't have. This is pervasive at this point. And the further back you go in Anti-Real's content library, the more obvious it gets. I'd be willing to bet, and this is purely just personal suspicion at this point, so keep that in mind, but I'd be willing to bet practically anything at this point that people are about to find far more examples of this. There's already, 7 different designs where stuff was copied and pasted into the game across multiple assets, which to me all but guarantees that the real number doesn't stop at 7. It's not like we just initially found all of the examples that are out there.
No shot.
It probably goes far higher than that, far higher than 7. But we also have to use a historical lens here and remember that like once or twice per year, a different artist, mind you, comes out on social media and says, hey, guys, wait a minute, Bungie stole my artwork, which is not a fluke anymore, okay? It's become a pattern. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Bungie knew as a company that the assets were stolen. They probably didn't, to be fair. I'm not going to pretend that I can tell you who's responsible for all of it. Maybe it really was an individual ex-employee artist like they claimed. But for this one, I don't feel like tiptoeing around with the language, and I don't think it's even remotely necessary. Because the stone cold truth is that Bungie did use stolen assets all over Marathon. That is a fact. Hopefully
Mm.
they end up compensating Anti-Real. I think it's likely at this point. The optics are so bad with this
Oh
game
yeah.
that there's really no way to dodge accountability for it, like they would probably hope to do in other circumstances. But I guess we'll see. I hope they get what they deserve. Like Anti-Real gets what they deserve in a good way, is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I don't really care if Bungie gets what they deserve, as long as they compensate the person who actually made the artwork and I don't know, just like move on from it in a constructive way, right? The get what they deserve is supposed to be positive in this case for a talented artist.
Yeah, like I get what you mean, dude. Like hopefully he gets paid out some amount of money. All right. And if not, just remove everything. If it's so easy. Bungie.
That's my point. But anyway, if you want to support the channel, check out the links down below, a special VPN deal, locals and Patreon, also Anti-Real's social media pages because they do excellent work, and more, but I'll cut it there and stop rambling. As always, thank you all for watching, question everything, and have a nice night.
Bro, that's crazy. Like uh, how does just somebody just accidentally grab like some text or some graphics and just be like, okay, copy paste, okay. But then they even took his like actual like things with like was it like Anti-Real Daily Series. It's like, oh, this can't possibly be any related to anything online. Oh my god. Oh, Bungie. What are we gonna do with you? When's Destiny 3 come out? Oh my god. What are the vibes on this one? It's crazy to see Bungie trying to re-release Concord. Like, we wouldn't know. Oh yeah. It's not even like nobody really even noticed the graphics. That's like, meh, whatever. It's all about the character designs, the overall art style of the game, the environment. AAA wasn't supposed to be an asshole rating. Can we just agree that this thing is not Marathon, and this is no longer Bungie anymore? No longer Bungie anymore than Blizzard is. Yeah. It's more than assets. The entire design language of the game, the one thing unique about the game is straight up stolen. Dang, dude. That's crazy. I had no idea. Yeah. Giraffe. Okay. Another banger from Upper. Uh, bro, I was so like disinterested in the game. I was like, meh. Like I'm not playing this shit. This like extraction shooter. First of all, extraction shooters are based or like the target audience is like older dudes. Older dudes are not playing that type of game looking like that. Oh, let's give it like some fun, interactive colors and make everybody like not like the character designs are all like weird. Like no older dude is like getting that game. Oh my god. Okay, that's it for me. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.